My name is Joel Lutz, and I am the co-founder and global executive director of mosaiXmultiply. It's an honor and a joy to be able to be here today and share with you something that I am truly passionate about. Something that we believe is at the center of the heart of Christ, that He too is passionate about and desires and longs to see happen here on earth through His bride, the church. mosaiXmultiply is dedicated to the development of leaders who develop gospel-driven, multicultural communities that multiply. We want to work with pastors and leaders and individuals like you who have a passion and a desire to see His kingdom come on earth through unity of His believers, His bride, His people, despite their cultural differences. Not only that, we want to walk alongside ordinary people, people in their normal places of life, and help them discover that they too can start a simple, gospel-driven community that is missional, multicultural, and multiplies right where they are in the cultural context where they live, where they work, and where they go to school. Our journey began in 2015. I was living in Germany, and I was working in the automotive industry, but I met a guy by the name of Dr. Stephen Beck, and he wanted to start a church in Frankfurt, Germany, but not only a church that was intentional about being gospel-driven, missional, multicultural, and that multiplied. He wanted to be intentional about welcoming the strangers amongst us. And if you recall what happened in 2015, there was a wave of millions of refugees that flooded into Europe, flooded into Germany. And the churches that we had helped plant, that we had injected that DNA of being missional, multicultural, and multiplicational, we were able to welcome those people. And I remember specifically question that we asked ourselves: what do we need to continue to learn about reaching these people that are different than us? But also, what can we teach them to start simple, gospel-driven communities that were missional, that were multicultural, and that multiplied where they lived? So we began to gather educators, people that we knew in our networks, people that we knew who had done this hard work, who had planted multicultural churches, led multicultural teams, and even teachers who were teaching education in cross-cultural education and cross-cultural communication. And we began to design training for these people to make it simple and practical. Simple and practical so that they could do the work. But then we quickly realized that the things that we were learning in Europe, we could apply all over the world. The things that we were learning about the heart of Jesus, that He wants us to be united despite our differences, that He desires and longs to see that is the why behind the command He says, go and make disciples. Because we believe that when we understand His heart, the why behind it, then we can figure out the how and the what it looks like later. The why is what fuels the how and the what. So we launched mosaiXmultiply in October of 2022, and we realized we can apply it in places all over the world. Here in the United States, because the world is changing at a drastic pace. Borders are being destroyed. People are coming together. You hear it all the time. The nations are coming to us. So we want to walk alongside people and help them discover they can start simple, gospel-driven communities. Because that's where the hard work is. We want to collaborate with people who are doing the hard work and just inject that DNA of being multicultural. I want to tell a story about a guy by the name of Muhammad. Muhammad is an MBB from Sierra Leone. He moved to the United States several years ago, had an encounter with Jesus, and has been on a journey with Him ever since. And about a year and a half ago, he began going through our training. We go through training in what we call training hubs. You could call it cohort, a learning community, whatever, but we call them training hubs. And he became in this community, learning from each other, learning from people that have done this work before, and discovering his heart was aligned with the heart of Christ. And he discovered he could start a simple, gospel-centered community that was missional, multicultural, and that multiplied where he was. And he's now up in the Twin Cities, planting a multicultural church with Dr. Stephen Beck to make an impact in his community there. You see, that's what we're about. We want people to discover why Jesus loves to see his bride come together despite the cultural and ethnical and ethnic and all of those differences, because he wants his bride to be the beacon of light for the world to see unity. Because the church is the only way it can happen. And if we don't come together and show his love and understand why he says, go and make disciples of all nations, nobody else is going to show unity. Nobody else is going to overcome the challenges, the difficult challenges of this hard work. But when you understand why, he loves the nations, and he loves to see his bride singing, "Worthy is the Lamb." The world will see him. Will you join us? Will you partner with us in this journey of showing this credible gospel? This credible gospel of seeing his bride, the church, come together in unity despite the differences. Have a blessed day.